and Michelle Carroll, two of our finest from Big Couch Media Group. That's Capital Lighting's main internet consultant. And they're going to begin to talk about Twitter and what there is to know and not to be afraid. Also wanted to thank Savoy House. Savoy House Lighting has been a partner with Capital Lighting for decades, and I thank them for their sponsorship of this terrific webinar. So, Georgie, without further ado, let's get started learning about Twitter and why we should not be afraid.
Thank you, Eric, and good morning, everyone. I am so thrilled to be with all of you this morning and to give you some insights on Twitter, and more importantly, how you can start using it as part of your business's social media, and more importantly, your marketing efforts. I'm also joined this morning by another Big Couch team member and social media expert, Michelle Carroll.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
So today we're going to help answer the following questions on Twitter. We'll first answer the question, why? Why should you be doing this? Then we'll discuss what is Twitter. We're then going to show you how it works. We're then going to help you really get started, provide you with some best practices and tips, and then we have a very special Twitter makeover to share with you.
Very special.
Very special. And of course, we'll leave time for questions and answers. But first, as Eric mentioned, we really want to thank our sponsor, Savoy House. Without them, we couldn't make this webinar possible. They've been a great partner, and they have truly an amazing product line. So thanks so much, Savoy House. So before we get started, as Eric mentioned, let's take a quick poll.
Okay, I'll take it from here, and the first question is a pretty simple one. It says, are you currently using Twitter? And if you could all either click yes or no, that would be very helpful. I'll give you another couple of seconds now. Okay, almost everybody has voted, a few laggards. Click to vote. This is almost as important as the one next week. Not quite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we got most everybody has voted. So I'll close the voting, and I will share the results. 58% are currently using Twitter, and 42% are not. All right, so a little over half of our attendees today are using Twitter. All right, the next question is, for those who answered yes to the first question, are you using Twitter to market your business? So if you are using Twitter, that 58% of you, how many of you are using Twitter to market your business? So if you could let us know, yes or no, if you are using Twitter to market your business. A couple more seconds to get a couple more voters, and we'll close the, and I will share the results there. Okay, 3/4 who are using Twitter are using it to market your business. That's terrific. That's smart. And now the last question. This is actually to the people that who are not using Twitter, or if they've signed up for Twitter and aren't using it very much, sort of like I was up to about a week ago. So if you're not using Twitter or not using it very much, why? And on these questions, check all that apply. That you don't have time, that you don't understand how to use it, that you don't understand why you should even be using it, that even though if you understand it, you don't think it's relevant for you or your business, it's not the particular demographic you think that you're going for, or you're afraid. You're afraid of doing something wrong, tweeting something and embarrassing yourself or ruining your business. Some sort of fear. Okay, great. Give a couple more seconds for all those to vote. And a couple more. And voting is closed. And we'll share that. Okay, the The biggest reason, this is very interesting, graph, that they don't understand how to. So they'd like to, but 71% is they don't understand how. Second is a tie, is I don't understand why, and I'm afraid. And the third one is a time issue, don't have time to, and I don't believe it's relevant for me or my business. Okay, that was great. Very interesting results. You got all that down, Georgie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are some very interesting statistics. I'm happy to hear that a majority of you are actually using Twitter and then using it for your business. So that's very encouraging. And for those of you who aren't using it or are afraid or don't understand why, I really hope today we can help answer some of those questions on the why. So even if you're not using Twitter, obviously you hear a lot about it. Actually, there's been a lot of tweeting around the storm in the Northeast. It is widely used by many companies, media outlets, individuals, and even countries have been overthrown using Twitter. But why should you get started on Twitter? First, it's free. It only costs you time. And for those of you running small businesses and spending money on marketing, a free channel that could get you exposure to hundreds of millions of people is certainly worth your time. Secondly, you can become an authority in your specific areas of interest or your industry very easily. Specific to the design industry, the demographics are very consistent with the types of customers that you should be targeting. Active Twitter users are influencers. It is absolutely great for your search engine optimization. And lastly, it really is fun. At almost 500 million users and 175 million tweets per day, Twitter has become the most efficient global information network on the planet. So what is it? Twitter is a microblogging, real-time social media platform, and it's based on 140 characters, which up until recently was only text-based. However, recent enhancements to Twitter now allow more interactive content, and we're going to cover some of that in today's webinar. And we get asked a lot, why is Twitter 140 characters? So when Twitter was launched in 2006, it was launched as a short-form messaging platform originally focused on mobile messaging. And the 140 characters comes from that because mobile messaging is limited to 140 characters. So a little factoid for all of you on Twitter. Now we're going to talk about the lingo. We've all had to learn all new lingo since social media exploded in the last really 6 to 7 years. So first, let's talk about the tweet. That's the 140 character or less message that you send to your followers. Next, the mention. The mention is a public message to someone when you insert the @ sign, causing your tweet to show up in the mention section of that user's Twitter account. And here's the example of 1-800-LIGHTING tweet. A retweet is, now what we all have to remember is Twitter is about sharing. And a retweet is when you find interesting tweets from others and you want to share that. You simply just click the retweet button to share this message with your followers. the hashtag. People insert hashtags into their tweets to provide context and make them easily searchable for others interested in a specific topic. It is simply a keyword preceded by the hash symbol. And here's an example of something from that I picked up yesterday about Sandy.
Now, let me ask a question about the hashtags, Georgie. Like in particular, this one is Sandy, and that's what's trending. But say 2 months ago, there was something else that people were using as Sandy. So you could have more than one topic with the same hashtag, and it would just trend to whatever is more prevalent in the news or
So it's trending to whatever people are talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversations are surrounding that topic. So, yes, technically, Sandy could have been.
It could have been a band named Sandy or
could
whatever.
Could have been a band named Sandy, right.
Right. So they're not necessarily so unique. It just is what people are choosing to talk about.
Correct.
Okay.
The message. So unlike the mention, which is public, a message is private. So you can actually send private messages to people that are either following you or you're following. And then finally, trending is a term that Twitter uses as when a particular term, like Sandy, becomes very popular on Twitter, it's termed trending. And Twitter actually lists these trending terms on its homepage. But Eric, as you pointed out, what's popular today could be yesterday's news. So again, Twitter is really about the real-time nature of what people are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So why is Twitter different than other social channels? The main difference between Twitter and, let's say, Facebook is Twitter is a public social network based on people with shared interests, where Facebook is more about your friends and is more private. Additionally about Twitter, it's women, they're influential, and users actually skew older than other social networks, as almost 40% of Twitter users are age 35 and older. That's almost 200 million users. So that's a lot of people. And going back to where can you get free marketing to 200 million people, I'm not sure where else.
That was, for me, the most surprising data brought out by this webinar when we were talking about it earlier, that my impression of Twitter was that it was used by young men, just tweeting all day, but that 60% of Twitter users are women and skewing older. I was surprised by, and happily, because that's right in our demographic and most of our professionals' demographics. Designers certainly are talking to the same people, so very interesting.
Yep. Many of the nation's top designers are aggressively leveraging Twitter with some staggering numbers. People like Nate Berkus, almost 185,000 followers. Holly Becker, 46,000 followers. Veronica Miller, 12,000 followers. And then there's hundreds and hundreds of others. For instance, the Interior Designers Chat that has almost 12,000 followers. And this is something very relevant to all the interior designers that are on today's webinar, because this is a weekly scheduled conversation on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 between interior designers, architects, home furnishing industry professionals. So this is very relevant for you and something that you may want to consider getting involved in. Also, all of the major home decor brands are on Twitter with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. So why are businesses using Twitter? For branding, for real-time networking and building their community. A lot of companies are even using Twitter for customer service. And also brand reputation management. And of course, prospecting and selling. Another major difference is Twitter is about real time. You can engage in real-time conversations. You can gather valuable insights on what people are saying about you or your business. More importantly, identifying current trends, what's happening now. And you can follow real-time events and stories. Again, a great example of this is people using Twitter around Hurricane Sandy. So we wanted to share just a couple of examples that we found of companies who have made it big on Twitter. They've built their businesses on Twitter. The first one is Foil Cupcakes. They're based in Chicago and really built their following on Twitter. They went from 0 to 2,200 followers in just a few weeks and really put them on the map. The next one is Kogi Korean Barbecue Food Truck in Utah. These guys have over 100,000 followers. And then more famous is the CEO from Zappos, who has about over 2.5 million followers. And another interesting statistic for Zappos, a third of their employees use Twitter. So now let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is go to twitter.com. And now we're going to set up your profile. So the first thing you want to do is pick a consistent name across all your social media if you can. So if you're just getting started, let's say you already have a Facebook page for your business or even personally, and now you're setting up Twitter, try to make that name close to what you're using across other social channels. Just be aware that Twitter does have some character limitations. Also, you want to make sure you include your location, your bio, an image, and a personalized background. And your bio and location are really great opportunities to add keywords to your profile. And these keywords are important because that's how people are going to find you, what you want to be known for. So if you're an expert in commercial interior design, you want to make sure in a specific location, you want to make sure you have those keywords weaved into your description. So now let's talk about customizing your Twitter profile. I mentioned earlier that Twitter enhanced its profile with things like a new header image. The new header image is very similar to Facebook's timeline, although it has a lot more flexibility. And you also have the ability to add other information and announcements about your company. So here's just a couple of examples of some enhanced profiles, and we'll be able to show you our makeover later of Eric's profile. So how do you design with the new header image? You simply click on your settings. You then click on Design and follow the upload instructions. And Twitter will also provide you with the optimal image and file sizes to use. So they'll give you all, it's, you know, if I can do it, you could do it. Trust me. And then you're just going to click on Change Header, and that's where you're going to be uploading your new image. Next is customizing your Twitter background. Now that you've created your header image, you need to customize your background. Customizing your background will help convey your brand. you also want to customize your background to complement your header image. So you want to sort of take a holistic approach. And again, to do this, you just go to your settings, and that is where you can customize your background. Remember, you have one opportunity to make a good first impression. Okay, so now you have a really cool Twitter profile all set up. Now you need to start building followers. Now, why do you want to do this? You want to establish authority, you want to expand your influence, and certainly you want to generate leads, sales, new customers. So building followers, you need to first establish a fun but authoritative tone, and you want to tweet often. So come up with sort of what subjects, how are you going to take a humorous approach, but come up with your tone. Next is follow and be followed. It is a two-way street. Use the trending topics that we talked about earlier to get involved in real-time discussions around your industry. Just get involved. So follow those trending topics. Use hashtags. So your tweets will get followed within those topics. Get involved in chats through channels like TweetChat. And lastly, promote your Twitter everywhere. So add it to your email signature. You want to integrate it in your other social media channels and integrate it on your website. So when are the best times to tweet? So you want to pick the best times because you want to increase the likelihood of your tweet going viral. And so the best time to tweet is Monday through Thursday in the afternoon. So here's just a few tips to improve engagement on Twitter. Use 100 characters or less. Add links to your tweets. Again, you want to tweet often, if you can, and we'll talk about a little bit later about my wish for you. Use hashtags, and actually use images, so make the content interactive, and actually in your tweet, request the retweet. And so here's just a very current example of one of the presidential candidates who asked for a retweet. So you could see the RT. So they're actually requesting the retweet. I'm sure you've seen Twitter integrated on many websites or blogs, and it's very easy to do. And for instructions to add these Twitter widgets to your site or blog, you just need to visit Twitter, and it will provide you with the step-by-step instructions for either you, if you're technically savvy, like you manage your own blog or website, or you're a web developer. It is not hard. It's not 10 hours of work. It's a pretty simple integration. So now, Michelle is going to share with us our very special makeover.
Okay, great. So now what we're going to do is show you how to put some of these tips into practice with the Twitter makeover that we did for our very own Eric Liebersfield. So as you can see, Eric's Twitter profile was not very personalized, and he also did not have, he was not regularly tweeting, and he did not have many Twitter followers. And we started on this makeover just a couple weeks ago, and our strategy was to create an engaging Twitter header and background image and really take advantage of the new design functionality that Twitter is offering users. We were also working on increasing his fans or followers, and also helping to develop an engaging content and a voice for Eric on his Twitter profile. So as you can see, what we've done is created a very engaging new header which incorporates various personal and professional images of Eric. His Twitter profile will have a 50-50 blend of personal information, as well as he'll be tweeting on behalf of his, obviously his role with Capital Lighting. So we've also helped to increase Eric's Twitter followers by 72% in less than 2 weeks, and we've done this by following various other people on Twitter that he's interested in or that have a relevant interest to the industry. We've also added him to some other Twitter directories such as Twitter, Listorious, and also by posting engaging content. As you can see, he's been posting images and information and also mentions. So through this process, Eric has made a commitment to tweet more often, and he's recently started sharing, as I mentioned, images of his personal interests and other activities. And these are very tangible tips that you can put into practice to help make over your personal Twitter profile or business Twitter profile if you're currently using it, just to give yourself a better first impression, as we mentioned.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. I enjoyed my makeover.
I loved your Twitter makeover, Eric.
And it actually is easier than I had thought it would be, and just I'm spending about 10 to 15. Somebody did ask the question, how much time do you recommend putting in a day? And I know you had mentioned, four tweets or less a day, which obviously doesn't take that long. It's 140 characters, which may sound like a lot, but it's not. It's like a sentence or two.
Right.
So it's very quick to make them. I'm probably spending 15 minutes a day on Twitter, and that's both composing a couple of tweets and checking to see what's trending. Obviously, the New Jersey and the storm up north is trending, and it's interesting to go there and see in real time what people are talking about. And it's one big group, which I find, it's just very interesting, as opposed to Facebook, where you're limited to seeing what your friends are posting.
So first, as we discussed earlier, create a consistent social media presence, make it memorable, write an awesome bio. You want to customize your profile with a header image and a complementary background. Remember, you want to make a great first impression. Follow others in your niche or industry, influencers, and tweet, tweet, tweet.
Tweet, tweet.
So, tweet, tweet, tweet. I think that was a song. So, why should you at least get started on Twitter? It's your target market. Any of the interior designers on this call, it's your target market, and it's free. Unlike other social channels like Facebook, and because of the 140 characters, you only need to commit a few minutes each day, as Eric was mentioning. It's real time, so you can get involved in conversations as an expert or an authority on very current topics and trends. This is a way for you to absolutely stay closer and in contact with your customers. Twitter users are influencers for companies and brands. By the way, it's not going away. You need to join in. And so just start by committing, even if you commit a few minutes a week, and most importantly, have fun.
Awesome. George, I have We do have okay. I do have a bunch of questions that are coming in from our attendees, but we can hit it in a minute. This is a good cartoon.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you all, so much for your time today. I hope you learned something. And for the, what did we say, the 42% who are not using Twitter, I would just hope that you would make a commitment to get started. And like I said, even if you just commit a few minutes a week,
awesome.
It'll go a long way.
Georgie, Debbie asked the question, do you recommend following your followers?
Yes, I'll respond to that. This is Michelle. Yes, as a good practice, a general best practice is to follow your followers and retweet their tweets as well. That's also a great way to increase your followers and engage with your followers.
Okay, great. Another question. You talked about tone. Where does the tone fall in relation to your voice on LinkedIn and Facebook? I guess what they're saying is if they consider Facebook more personal and they're not using that for business, which we do recommend using it for both, but if Facebook is for personal and LinkedIn is for business, would you consider Twitter falling in between those two social media channels?
Certainly it falls in between, but most importantly with regards to your tone and your voice is establishing your authority by being yourself. You need to really be genuine in your tone, and also because of the short form nature of the tweets being 140 characters, it is very normal for people to use abbreviations and shorten words. So in that regard, it's a little bit more informal than, let's say, something you do on LinkedIn.
Great. All right. I think hopefully everybody can hear us, and I apologize for that technical glitch. That Sandy was actually pretty cooperative with us most of this webinar, but threw us a little curveball towards the end there. But we reestablished communications pretty quickly, and I appreciate everyone's patience with that. I think it was a terrific Twitter 101 boot camp that you ladies have led, and I appreciate it. I certainly learned quite a bit, and I want to thank all our attendees. As you know, Capital Lighting and 1-800-Lighting.com, we are dedicated to serving our customers, and our pro customers are especially dear to our heart. Please reach out to me or any member of my team to let us know how we can satisfy any needs or desires for building your business that we could possibly do. We look forward to next month's social media boot camp, which is going to be something that, again, I'm looking to learn a lot about. My daughter spends at least an hour a day on this media. It's Instagram, which I think did Facebook spend $1 billion for a couple of months ago. So we'll see if he knew what he was doing, spending that kind of money. But Instagram, another exceptionally visual social media channel, and we look forward to what Georgie and Michelle are going to talk to us about that. Any final thoughts for us, Georgie or Michelle?
Just thank you, everyone, and let us know if we can help.
We will be sending out a follow-up email in a day or two. It'll have the recording of this webinar on there in case you came in late or want to rewatch something else. And you can reply to that email to me, and if it's a more technical question than is beyond my ken, I will certainly get it to the right person and get you an answer back. But I look forward to joining you all in about 30 days' time. For those who attended up in the Northeast, we have certainly wish you well, and our thoughts and prayers are with everyone up in that region. We have 4 stores up in that territory, and we're still getting word how they fared through the storm, and these kind of things bring people together, and I'm sure that's going to happen at this point as well. So thank you, everybody, for attending. We look forward to next month, and for now, I'm signing off. This was Eric Liebersfeld with Capital Lighting, and everyone have a peaceful rest of your day, and take care, everyone.